Becoming the main character, owning your journey through life's plot, twists. Have you ever watched a movie where the protagonist spends the entire time reacting to everyone else's drama? Where they're just there, not driving the action, not making the big decisions, just existing in someone else's story? That's not the kind of movie anyone wants to watch. And yet, that's exactly how so many of us live our lives. I recently had the profound privilege of interviewing Bianca Nelson, whose insights have fundamentally transformed how I understand personal agency and resilience. Her revolutionary work in empowering individuals to reclaim their narratives has created ripples of transformation across communities, especially for Black women professionals navigating complex personal and career landscapes. What Bianca has built isn't just a methodology, it's a movement that's helping people step fully into their power as the authors of their own stories. What struck me most about our conversation wasn't just her remarkable wisdom, but how she approaches transformation, not as a distant theoretical concept, but as a deeply personal journey that begins with a single courageous choice: the decision to become the main character in your own life. Let's be honest, life rarely unfolds according to plan. One day you're confidently moving forward on your carefully plotted path, and the next, well, the universe decides to throw in a plot twist that leaves you questioning everything. I'm looking at some of you nodding right now. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But here's what Bianca helped me understand: those unexpected turns aren't detours from your story, they are your story. And more importantly, you get to decide what those twists mean. Think about it. In every great narrative, the hero faces seemingly insurmountable obstacles. Those challenges aren't there to derail the protagonist, they're there to reveal who the protagonist truly is. The same is true for you. You are the main character in your journey, not your boss, not your partner, not your parents or your children, or that random person who left that comment on your social media post that you still think about at 3 a.m. You. And main characters don't just passively accept whatever happens to them, they respond, they adapt, they grow. Consider Bianca Sensori's journey. After working as an architectural designer at Yeezy, she could have comfortably remained in Kanye West's shadow, building someone else's vision. Many would have. The security, the prestige of association is tempting to stay where it's safe. Instead, she chose to launch her own company, Bianca Sensori Inc., establishing it in both California and Australia. This wasn't just a business move, it was a declaration of selfhood, a statement that said, I am more than my associations. I am the author of my own story. Moving out of the shadow of someone as globally recognized as Kanye West meant facing intense public scrutiny. It meant having to repeatedly prove her worth beyond her connection to Yeezy. It meant building credibility from scratch in some circles. But by registering her business across two continents and stepping into the CEO role while still maintaining professional collaborations with Yee, she found that perfect balance between honoring her past and claiming her future. Today, she's recognized as a leader in architecture inspired furniture design with potential expansions into beauty products. Her journey exemplifies what happens when you refuse to be a supporting character in your own life story. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. That's great for her, but she had connections, she had resources, she had a platform. Fair point. So let me tell you about another Bianca, Bianca Tavella. Tavella founded Fair Shot Cafe with a mission that many would have dismissed as too idealistic: creating inclusive employment opportunities for people with learning disabilities. In a world where even highly qualified individuals with disabilities face discrimination, this is no small undertaking. She confronted widespread social stigma. She faced skepticism about whether such a business model could be sustainable. She had to change perceptions, not just within society, but within workplaces themselves. What did she do? She built Fair Shot Cafe as both a business and an advocacy platform. She didn't just talk about inclusion, she demonstrated it. She used real world examples to disprove myths about disability inclusion in the workplace. The result? A successful cafe that creates jobs while shifting community attitudes toward inclusivity. The impact ripples outward through increased awareness about workplace equity, a testament to what happens when someone refuses to let barriers define them or those they serve. Tavella's early experiences volunteering alongside family members within marginalized communities globally showed her firsthand how support could transform lives. Rather than just feeling inspired and moving on, she committed herself fully to creating that transformation for others. Her story reminds us that being the main character doesn't mean it's all about you. Sometimes the most powerful plot development is when you use your agency to create space for others to find theirs. But what if you're just starting out? What if you don't have years of experience or an established network? Let me introduce you to yet another Bianca, the early career version of Bianca Sensori, who launched Nylon's Jewelry shortly after graduating high school. As a young woman entering entrepreneurship without significant resources or connections beyond school networks, she faced the skepticism that comes with youth, the raised eyebrows, the dismissive attitudes, the come back when you've got more experience responses. But instead of waiting for permission or validation, she leveraged her creativity, later honed through architectural training, and built a brand identity through grassroots marketing among peers before scaling up operations. That jewelry brand established itself locally within Melbourne's creative scene and laid the groundwork for her later successes across industries. It was her first step in a journey that would eventually lead to global business leadership. Life takes you through so many twists, Bianca shared during our interview, but learn from those challenges. This echoes how each pivot in her career, from jewelry designer straight out of high school to global business leader, involved embracing uncertainty rather than shying away from it. Now, I want to be clear about something. Being the main character in your story doesn't mean you won't face setbacks. It doesn't mean you'll always make the right choices. It doesn't even mean you'll always know what the next chapter holds. What it does mean is that you approach each plot twist with agency, with the understanding that while you can't control everything that happens to you, you can control how you respond to it. It means recognizing that obstacles aren't roadblocks, they're stepping stones. Facing adversity head on can lead to personal transformation, resilience, and new possibilities you couldn't have imagined before. It means understanding that even when circumstances seem overwhelming or uncertain, persistence pays off. Taking bold steps toward independence, especially as a Black professional or entrepreneur, can redefine not just your own future, but also inspire others around you. During my conversation with Bianca Nelson, she emphasized something that has stayed with me. The most powerful moment in anyone's life is when they stop asking for permission to be who they already are. That's what becoming the main character is really about. It's about claiming the pen that writes your story. It's about recognizing that while others may influence certain chapters, only you get to decide what those chapters mean in the broader narrative of your life. So here's my challenge to you: stop living as if you're waiting for your real life to begin. Stop treating your current circumstances as the prologue to some future story where you'll finally take center stage. Your story is happening right now, this moment, this day, this challenge you're facing. What if the obstacle in front of you isn't a detour from your destiny, but the very path toward it? What if the rejection letter, the failed relationship, the health crisis, or the career setback isn't the end of your story, but the inciting incident that propels you into becoming who you were always meant to be? I want you to leave here today with this truth burning in your heart. You were never meant to be a supporting character. You were never meant to live in the shadows of someone else's narrative. You were born to be the protagonist of your own epic journey. So take out that dream you've kept hidden. Dust off that idea you were told was too ambitious. Reconsider that path you abandoned because someone said it wasn't practical. Your life is a story that will be told one way or another. The only question is, will you be the one telling it? Or will you surrender your narrative to the voices, expectations, and limitations imposed by others? The world doesn't need more people playing small, living cautiously, or waiting for permission. The world needs people who have awakened to their own agency, people who understand that the pen is in their hand and they get to write the next chapter. So write boldly, write truthfully, write a story so authentic to who you are that when others read it, when they witness how you live, they find the courage to pick up the pen and begin writing their own. Because in the end, that's how we change the world. Not all at once, but one story at a time. One protagonist who refuses to be sidelined. One main character who looks at life's plot twists not as obstacles, but as opportunities for the most compelling character development of all. Your story is still being written. Make it one worth telling. Make it one that inspires others to become the main characters in their own lives. The pen is in your hand. What will you write next?